One of the more obvious advantages of budget brand watches is the fact that they are more able to be adventurous and daring in their designs, whereas the more expensive brands would not be able to afford to do that. Being that case, you can get a lot of weird looking watches, and some of them are real fun. One brand in particular is Tomi. I have 4 Tomi watches, and each of them have their own individual design. None of them look like each other at all, and have no definite brand image. So, this is the Tomi 079. Let's have a look at this thing. Good day to you all, and welcome back to another BBW review. Today we have the Tomi T 079 on review. Now this is one watch I've been looking forward to reviewing because of its uniqueness. But first, let's go straight into the basic dimensions. You have a 40mm dimension case with a 47mm lug to lug and 20mm lug width. So for my wrist, absolutely perfect. On the side, you'll notice there are 2 crowns. They're both 5mm and both push-pull, and on opposite sides. And now I'll come back to this later, which is an important point of one of the main special features of the watch. The case itself is beat blasted alloy, which I really like. I'm glad it isn't a blingy chrome dusted alloy. Now the case itself is a beat blasted case, which I really like. It's quite a basic design, unlike most budget watches, almost a pie tin, and I really like it. It's different. Again, it's beat blasted. It comes in 2 sections, although it's only one piece of alloy. And at the bottom, you have a standard push-on back cover, and in between that, you almost have a chamfered, polished edge, which is hard to pick up here, but as a division at the bottom of the watch, it looks really cool. I like that a lot. The lugs, basic lugs, not anything special, but they do pull down a lot to hug the wrist. Again, 47mm, and it fits absolutely perfectly on my 6.5-inch wrists. Now, on to the main feature, which is that face. Now, the crystal itself is just a flat mineral crystal, which just pokes up slightly above the bezel. A very slim bezel indeed it is, giving the total top to bottom depth of 8.4mm. So a very slim case indeed, and will slip under any wrist. Now back to the face. You have a cream dial. It's not white, it's cream. And as you can notice, you have they are independent watch faces. It's a twin movement. There are 2 watch movements inside here. Now, here's where it gets interesting. One of my main gripes with watches is the fascination for GMTs. Now, date windows, that's one thing. I don't like date windows because how often do you need to look at the date every day? But a GMT, well, how often are you going to monitor times in different regions? For me, never. And even if you did, for example, I am in Southeast Asia at the moment, and if I want to know the time in Japan, I would just add on 3 hours to my present time. It's that simple. I would not want another hand cluttering up the dial. I find that really, really redundant. But this, Tomi, is the budget watch answer to the GMT, because you can have one dial set at your local time and one dial set at your region you are monitoring or tracking. Now it's up to you to choose which one. But since there's only one second hand on the larger dial, it's probably best if you set this as the local time. The dials themselves, the larger one, which has printed minute markers all around, slightly larger for every 5 minutes or for the hours. Basic black hands, and a second hand that reaches right to the edge there, absolutely perfect. The contrast between the black hands and the cream dial is really, really good. You have no problem at all checking the watch at a quick glance. The other dial, smaller, black, has a really nice sunburst effect to it. Really nice, which is strange on a watch of this price. Again, $7. The contrast here is the black sunburst dial against white hands. The hands are slightly different from the other dial. Here, on the face, you have markers printed every 5 minutes. Now, you do have two independent movements. I'm not sure if they're the same movement, but as you may know, the first thing I like to do on checking that movement is, do we have a minute hand jump? So I'll set the minute hand at the 12, and if I press it in, does that hand jump? No, it doesn't. So that's a good movement there. Now, some would call this, looking at the colour scheme, the cream or off-white and the black, possibly a minimalist watch, especially considering there are no numbers and very few details apart from that. I would say no. I can see why people may think it's minimalist, but I would call it more eccentric. It has a lot more going for it than to be based on a minimalist watch. Now, before I get to the main feature, which I should say I only noticed not so long ago, I'll come back to that in a minute. The strap fits well. It's individual links, they're solid, and you do get very good articulation. So apart from the watch head itself fitting really well to the wrist without any overhang, you're going to get a strap which really conforms to the rest of your wrist to get an overall really nice fitting watch on your wrist. Basic clasp. I don't like this clasp, but well, what do you expect for $7? Basic push-pull with 2 pushes there, unsigned. It does the job, but for a $7 watch to have a strap like this, it's quite impressive. Now we come to the special feature, and again, I only noticed this not so long ago, apart from having the watch for some time. Now, I've given you a few clues as to what this special feature is, and I have never seen it on any other watch. I'll give you a few seconds to guess what it is. What is it about this watch what you will probably hardly ever see on any other watch or from any other watch brand? Now, let me show you. Because of the position of these adjacent crowns, you can actually wear the watch in any direction. Now, if you had a crown centered next to the 3 and you spun it around, it would be on the 9, and that will look strange, unless you're left-handed. But the crowns being as they are, when you do turn them, the crown is in the same position. Now, if you set the, for example, the dark hand with a dark face as your GMT face, and the larger one as your local, when you flip it, you can have the larger one as your GMT and the small one as your local. It doesn't matter, you can keep the larger one as your local and the small one as your GMT. It really doesn't matter. But I don't know why that took me so long to realise you can wear it in any position. And I've never seen that on any other watch. And mainly because, apart from the position of the crowns, there are no numbers. So you can wear it any direction, which I think is really, really fun. Who needs to change straps every day to smarten up your watch? You can just wear it in a different position every day. No other watch will do that for you. Again, $7. Absolutely amazing. Now, a quick look on my 6.5-inch wrist. And that does fit absolutely perfectly. No overhang at all on those 47mm lugs. A really nice fit. So let's look at it in another position. And here it is on the opposite, upside down, back to front way. And it looks exactly the same, but different. I think it's a really unique feature that you can wake up one morning and decide, which way shall I wear my watch today? Now, when some people like to change up their watches, they'll change the strap. You can do it with this watch, of course, but to change which way you wear it, that really is a unique feature and one which I've never seen on any other watch. Let's have a look at those dials in more detail. Now, although you have very small minimalist markers on both, I've never had a problem looking at the watch and gauging the time at a glance. And there it is, the Tomi T079. Now, although it's not strictly a GMT, because of its independent twin movements, and it does serve and perform the same purpose as a GMT, I'm going to call it one. Now, as a brief summary and overview, again, $7. I was really taken aback by this watch, from the simple but quite elegant looking case, the minimalist design, together with the eccentricity of the dial design. And I think Tomi have reached a perfect median in between both minimalism and eccentricity. They've managed to restrain themselves from making it too ridiculous looking like a toy, and to make it look like a very unique watch, which is going to be really fun to wear. Saying that, it's not the kind of watch I would wear every day, but when I do wear it, I really enjoy looking down at their face. So, there you have it. Again, the Tomi T079 in all its glory. And I would thoroughly suggest anyone to buy this watch. Not just because of its uniqueness, but because of the design as a whole and the package. For $7, I find it quite amazing that they can charge that cheap. So, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again with another watch on the Bargain Beta Watch channel. Until then, take it easy.